So the government of Sweden just launched a new visa that is very interesting. I'm sure you will like this. It is a job seeker visa. This visa is for highly skilled persons to migrate to the country in search of a job. So you do not need a job offer to go to the country, but you are going to the country to go look for a job. How amazing. This visa is valid for 3 to 9 months, so you can be in the country for up to 9 months to look for a job. And when you find a job, this visa will be changed to a work permit and you settle in the country. You may be wondering if you'll find a job when you go there. Well, this visa was introduced because of the labor shortage that the country is suffering at the moment. So they are opening up their borders for foreigners to come in and work. So this video is going to be loaded with so much information. I'm going to be telling you all about the job seeker visa, the requirements, the eligibility, the documents you need to apply for this visa, the proof of funds, whether you can migrate with your family, everything you need to know about this visa. I'm also going to be showing you the job shortage list, so you check if your occupation made the list. And lastly, I'm going to be showing you where to find jobs in Sweden. So please watch this video to the end so you don't miss out on any information. If you're seeing my video for the first time, my name is Jackie and you're welcome to Jackie Travels. On this channel, you'll find information about studying, working, and living abroad. Before we get into the visa, I want to share some fun facts about Sweden that will come in handy when you move to the country. Number one, Swedes love their coffee. Few people drink more coffee than the Swedes. In Sweden, coffee drinking is fostered through a tradition called fika, in which friends, family, or colleagues meet for coffee or tea, often with something sweet on the side. Most Swedes will enjoy at least one fika a day as an opportunity to bond. Number two, do learn Swedish. Try learning the language before you go to the country, because the Swedes are widely known as one of the best at English as a second language. So it might take you time to learn the language in the country, as most people just love to communicate in English. Sweden is one of the leaders in equality between sexes. So you will find equality between men and women, and also in the family you will see fathers pulling their weight at home. In Sweden, couples are entitled to 480 days parental leave, which will be shared between the mother and the father. Your doctor, your university professor, they will all address you by name, and they expect you to address them by name as well. That's pretty much the standard in Sweden. Everybody is on first name basis. Another one is that the Swedes are very outdoorsy. They engage in a lot of outdoor activities. All year round, there is at least one activity you can enjoy outside, come rain or shine. And the government has made it easy to enjoy Sweden's nature by giving people the right of public access. The next fact is that July is a slower month. Full-time employees in Sweden are entitled to at least 25 days of paid holiday per year, and many take out a large chunk of this during July, which is statistically the country's warmest month. So generally speaking, service will be slower. Many small businesses shut down the entire month. And the last fact I'll be sharing with you is to take off your shoes. When you're going into a private residence, ensure to take off your shoes at the door. To go further in this video, I'm going to be sharing my screen with you to take you through the job seeker visa. I'm going to be showing you every detail about this visa. And after that, I'm going to take you through the job shortage list. And after that, I'll be showing you some places where you can find jobs in Sweden. Residence permits for highly qualified persons to look for work or start a business. If you have completed studies corresponding to an advanced level degree, you can obtain a residence permit to come to Sweden and look for work or explore the possibilities for starting your own business. The permit may be granted for a minimum of 3 months and for no more than 9 months. During the period that you have this residence permit, your family cannot move to Sweden to live with you. If you have completed studies in Sweden and now want to seek employment, if you have a residence permit for studies in higher education in Sweden, have completed your studies and want to seek employment or explore the possibilities of starting your own business, here you should apply for another type of residence permit. Requirements for a residence permit. In order to obtain a residence permit to seek employment or explore the possibility for starting a business in Sweden, you must have completed studies corresponding to an advanced level degree, plan to seek employment or explore the possibilities for starting your own business, be able to support yourself during the period for which you are applying for a permit, and have money to cover the cost of your journey home. Have comprehensive health insurance valid for care in Sweden. Have a passport valid for the entire period you intend to be in Sweden. If your passport is about to expire, you should extend it because you cannot get a permit for longer than your passport is valid. Currently be located outside of Sweden. What counts as an advanced level degree? For a degree to count as advanced level, it must correspond to a 60 credit master's degree, a 120 credit master's degree, a professional degree worth 60 to 330 credits, or a postgraduate PhD level degree. Requirements for using the e-service. In order to make an application, you need digital copies of the pages in your passport that show your personal data, photo, signature, passport number, issuing country, period of validity, entry stamps, and if you have permission to live in countries other than your country of origin. Digital copies of examination certificate. Digital copies of the official transcript of academic record that shows the courses included in your education. Digital copies of the bank statements or other documents showing that you have sufficient funds to support yourself during the period for which you are applying for a residence permit. If permission from a central bank or the equivalent is required to take the money from your country, you must include such a permit. Digital copies of documents showing that you have comprehensive health insurance that is valid for care in Sweden. Digital copy of a signed letter of consent that gives the Swedish Council for Higher Education the right to contact higher education institutions in your home country to verify your educational documents. Be able to pay any fee for the application by credit card or debit card. You may also need to translate some documents. If your examination certificates and official transcripts are issued in a language other than Swedish or English, they have to be translated into Swedish or English. The translation must be done by an authorized translator. Enclose copies of the original documents and the translated documents to your application. Before you complete your application, make sure that the information on the documents you attach is clearly visible. Important information such as your name must appear in the documents. You must have a valid passport. Send copies of the pages in your passport that show personal data, photo, signature, passport number, issuing country, period of validity, and if you have permission to live in countries other than your home country. It is important that the full passport pages are present on the copies. Numbers and characters at the very top and bottom of the pages must also be clearly visible. The passport must be valid for the time that you will be in Sweden. You must be able to support yourself. You must show that you have secured your financial support for the time for which you are applying for the residence permit. This means that you must demonstrate that you have bank assets equivalent to at least 13,000 SEK for each month for which you are applying for a residence permit. In addition to this, you should also have money to be able to pay your travel home. So you may need to find out what 13,000 SEK amounts to in your currency. You must have your own health insurance that is valid for care in Sweden. The insurance must cover the entire period for which you are applying for a permit. If you cannot make your application in the e-service, you should instead fill in the form residence permit for highly qualified persons to look for work or start a business. The application form states which documents you must attach. Once you have submitted an application for a residence permit, the Swedish Migration Agency takes a decision about the case. The permit may be granted for a minimum of 3 months and for no more than 9 months. If you get a permit for more than 3 months, you will receive a residence permit card. The card is proof that you have permission to be in Sweden and contains your fingerprints and a photo of you among other information. If you get a job in Sweden during the permit period, you can apply for a work permit from within the country. You are not allowed to start working before you have applied for the new permit. Once you have applied for a work permit, you will be able to work while the Swedish Migration Agency processes your new application. You are only allowed to work for the employer and in the profession for which you have applied for a permit. If you decide to start a business in Sweden, you can apply for a residence permit as a self-employed person in Sweden and run your business while the Swedish Migration Agency processes your application. So this is all about the visa. So let's look at the job shortage list in Sweden for 2022. Below you find a list of all occupations that are mentioned on the job shortage list. There are over 100 on this list. I can't go through all of them, but let's just quickly see how far we can go on this. So there's construction workers, construction machine operator, pharmacist, of course, occupational therapist, architects and surveyors, bakers, midwives, nannies, bartenders, social work professionals, concrete workers, bus and tram drivers, civil engineer in construction, property manager, carpenters, hairdressers are also wanted, business salesman, preschool teacher, carpenter, primary school teacher, nurses, high school teacher, the list goes on and on. Production planner, engineers, installation and service electrician, lawyers are also wanted, chefs and servers are wanted as well, prison and probation officers, curators, laboratory engineers, truck driver, train driver, doctor, teachers in vocational subjects, machine operators, environmental and health inspectors, software and systems developer, bricklayer, painter, personal assistants, that is interesting, farmer, agricultural plants, fruits and berries, psychologists, accounting economists, auditors, x-ray nurses, sanitation workers, forest workers, caretakers, butchers, blacksmiths, social secretary, special nurses in emergency healthcare, special nurses in general healthcare, special needs teachers and educators, guidance counselors, cleaners, scaffold builders, support technician, IT, welders, systems analysts and IT architects, system administrator, security inspectors, dental hygienists, dentists, dental nurses, dental technicians and orthopedic engineers, taxi driver, telephone salesman, interpreters, transport manager and transport coordinator, truck driver, gardeners, train hosts and onboard managers, nurses, ward and receptionists, assistant nurses, university and college teachers. Wow, so many occupations are needed. Plumbers, caregivers and housing supporters. So I did not mention all, as you saw. I scrolled past some, so I'm going to be leaving the link to this list in the description box, so please check it out to find out if your occupation is listed. And if your occupation is listed and you meet other requirements, you can go ahead to apply for jobs. So let me show you some websites where you can look for jobs in Sweden. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so it will be recommended to other people that need this information, and also share it with people around you you know may need the information as well. Thank you so much for watching my video to the end. See you in the next one.